Hey everybody, it's Matt and Dyan. Welcome back to OK Aussie. It is Saturday, 31st of May, 6:37 p.m. Dyan is just going a bit spacey. She hasn't been feeling very well, a bit of nausea. Rapidly on. I've just put some pulse oximetry on. It's okay, but unfortunately, I feel that she might be going a bit offline and we might have a bit of a seizure risk going on. So we're just going to get prepared, ready for that, just in case. No. Right, let's get the Bluetooth up on the iPad. Let's get some readings up so we can see what's going on. And let's get some alerts up. Oh, sweetie. Dystonia in the right eye currently. Thumbs up. Device. What have we got happening here? Oh, sweetie, not today, eh? Not today. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. It's on. Red lights are on. And it's connecting now. Good girl. Come on, I need some readings. Right, it's starting to come up. Oxygen stats are 98, heart rate's are 55. Oh, sweetie. Dun's had already 2 lots of dystonia today. She's had some focalized dystonia in the wrist and hand, and also some focalized dystonia in the foot. Sweetie, can I have that? And no, I can't have that. We've now got focalized dystonia in the right elbow. So I won't be taking a blood pressure measurement at the moment. Ship me. Okay, that's not good timing.
No.
It's all right.
No.
Bicep brachialis right arm in full flexation. I can't take a reading. Sweetie, we're just going to take your legs out in front of you. Yeah, we are. So that you don't do anything weird like fall over. Alright, can I have you feeling noisy? I know. I've got it. Okay. Dan's feeling very nausea. That's why she wants to sit up, but when doing so, she can also fall out of bed. Can I put the helmet on you? No, you're not really wanting to be very helpful today. That's okay, it's not your fault. Oh, we have got a few things shit me going on. Alright, oxygen stats are at 97, heart rate's at 62 and climbing. Come on, King. The facial thing that you're seeing at the moment is the segmental cranial dystonia. You've got leftocism, which affects the eyes, or a mandibular dystonia, jaw thrusting activities. Just getting the oxygen concentrator ready because I have a feeling that we might have some drops in oxygen during this. Yes, sweetie. Okay, that's good. We've lost the fixed flexation in the right elbow. Just going to take a quick blood pressure. Now she is in an upright position, so that'll affect by about 10 to 15 milligrams. Current time is 6:41. That's really just for a bit of a squeeze in your right arm, just as the blood pressure cuff is taking its measurement. Dan's temperature before today was at 37, so not febrile, but on the warmer side of things. 37.3 currently. Just going to take the other side just to measure and balance that out. Same again. Alright, sweet pea. Blood pressure, even though she is sitting up, is 104/65. Yeah. With a heart rate of 54. Dyan has got postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. She is brachycardiac. She'll have a low heart rate and a low blood pressure. Oxygen starts at 97, heart rate is at 60, dropping 59, 58. Sweet pea. How are you feeling? Okay, maybe a focalized seizure or impaired awareness. Or mandible activities, blepharism activities, able to reach and connect but not able to vocalize at all. Current time 6:42 p.m. That's sweet pea. So the lip pursing and lip smacking is part of the dystonia. Oxygen stats at 97, heart rate's at 61. So like I said, during the course of today, she has actually had focalized dystonia in 2 points. We have come off the back of hospitalization earlier in the week, and that has had a massive toll on Dyan, fully draining her out, unfortunately. It has broken sleep patterns and sleep routines. In fact, we left hospital at 4 a.m. in the morning and didn't get her to sleep until probably 8 a.m. that morning, and obviously like jet lag flipped her around. So that hasn't helped. It's been a few days where we're trying to rebalance and recover, let alone the exhaustion of it. It was a high risk activity going into high risk potential of seizures and dystonia, and no surprise that we've had a bit of that post that activity. So that's really right here for you. Dyan's been quite warm the last couple of days. Syncope, 6:43. Come on. I know you feel nausea, but I can't have you passing out and falling out of bed. Not going to be a good look and won't help either of us. Just relocate your legs so that if you do go into a seizure, which is potential, that we don't start thrashing and then potentially dislocate. Dyan's obviously got a hypermobility condition, which is the Ehlers-Danlos loss. The seizure and other conditions are part of 22q 11.2 deletion syndrome. That's a chromosomal disorder, genetic disorder. She has a micro deletion on the long arm of 22nd chromosome, missing 30 to 50 genes, 3 million DNA building blocks, affecting about 180 to 185 clinical symptoms. Yeah. Current time 6:45. Oxygen stats at 98 and stable. Heart rate has dropped down a bit to 54. The alerts and the thresholds are set to 90% for the oxygen and 50 BPM, beats per minute, for the heart rate as a first level alert. So that's sweet pea. Okay. Most likely to go into a seizure. And seizure commencement, 6:45. Okay. Heart rate at 98. Sorry, oxygen's at 98. Heart rate's just spiking up with the seizure activity, 69. Sorry, I'm just going to take that from you. Dyan typically will left roll if she goes into a tonic seizure 98% of the time, so that's why we prepare that direction. I won't place her into a recovery position at this point, just to preserve the stability of her neck because of CCI and shoulder related injuries because of the hypermobility, unless she has any swallowing related issues. Heart rate's dropped back down again now, down to 54. Oxygen stats are fine, so we're not applying supplemental oxygen until she hits levels of 90 or below, if that's what occurs. As soon as she comes around, we need to get her some additional medications. I will go clonazepam as a muscle relaxant as soon as she comes. Otherwise, we might have to have emergency meds. We'll have those out ready to go. Very aggressive dystonia action at the moment, and blepharism coming through on the face, jaw thrusting and an axial tilt to the left. You can see the whole seizure activity again going through with the shoulders. The feet, we have an intern position of the feet. Hand, focalized dystonia in fixed flexation on the left hand side, right hand side posturally flexed as well. Face, you can see what's happening in here. Good girl, darling. I'm right here. This will pass. Oxygen stats is preserved at 98. Heart rate has increased up to 69 again during the seizure. So with the seizure activity, we're getting increases by 15 beats per minute each time she has a seizure. So it's indications. Once it drops off, like now as she relaxes, that'll give me an indication that the heart rate will drop out as it's now going down. So you can see over here I can monitor that. So it's dropping down 62, 59. So it's about 15 beats per minute increase while she's having the seizure activity with the tonic-clonic seizure. So sweetly, just here. Dystonia is mostly released. We've got some flexation on the right fingers, left. That's heart rate dropping down. Good girl. I'm just putting a bluey underneath just in case. Urinalysis can occur during seizures. Hey sweetie, I'm just here. Doing really well. We don't have any support staff on at this time at 6:48 p.m. We've only had 4 hours of support staff between 12 and 4, so they're not available to call or to assist during this. Dyan is under the NDIS, National Disability Insurance Scheme. Hello, Ning Ning Ning. I'm going to go with a small blanket because I don't want you overheating, just in case you feel that's what you're wanting. Postural roll left side for rest. Done quite typically post seizures will go straight into a restive mode and sleep, but she may have dystonia during this. So this is the part where we watch closely, and she can go into further either full body generalized dystonia or into further seizures as well. Hey sweetie, can you swallow a tablet for me? Yeah, I'll go get some tablet and some medication into you. Okay. We're going to try. So she's had some ondansetron, 4 milligrams sublingual wafer just prior to going into this event. Hey sweetie, I'm just going to place this in. Good girl. Drink. Drink. Swallow. Swallow. Good girl. Very, very, very hard to take oral medications during these events. And not the ideal way to deliver. I know you've done so freaking well. Oxygen's at 97, heart rate's at 75. Okay. Okay, you've done it. Good girl. Very proud of you. That was a clonazepam, 2 milligrams. That is a muscle relaxant, which will help with the dystonia side of things. Yeah, I know, baby. Just going to place this. Okay, we're going into cranial segmented dystonia, so she's not going to be able to swallow. I'll leave it resting. So head is tilted on a cranioaxial tilt with rotation. So this is a cranial dystonia reaction. We've got the arms, which are also in a seizure, 650. Flexation of both extremities of both left and right. Arms and hands, and relaxed. Good girl, you back. Release of the cranial, but we have got some blepharism still happening. Shit me. So jaw thrusting activities. So that's why I was so quick to try and get the clonazepam in. So this is going to help this very quickly for her. Vocalizations can be part of the tics, so they can be motor tics as well as vocalized tics. That will also incur with the dystonia, which is separate to that. So you get combinations of Tourette's, combinations of dystonia, and also seizures. It's a real mixed bag neurological activity at the moment. Hey, sweet pea. Right. Possibly, I'd say, the transmandibular joint on the left-hand side, and possibly also headache post-seizure. Good. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let's see, your jaw might be out. Quite easy to sublux and fully dislocate the jaw, just in there. And that part of there is the vagus nerve. Yep. I hear you. Good girl. Sorry, I know, it's squishing you down. What's it doing, boo? Okay, let me go. What are you doing? Sorry. That's sweet. Putting downward pressure inside the oral canal. Okay, I can feel that as your jaw moves across. Yep. And seizure. 654, that is heart rate dropping. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, let's not rearrange. Very strong hand postural position as it holds against the wall. That is intense strength. I've got to just be careful that there's no avulsions that are occurring, no tendon damage, no dislocation, or no break or bruise. And relax. 654 out. Okay. Centralise you back. Okay, let's come around here. Alright. Nothing in the feet. Right, I'm going to give you some medication. Yeah, absolutely. Just open up. This is going to normal down the side. CBD. CBD. Okay. Good deal. That's a good question. Where's the cloth? Alright, 0.5 mils CBD THC 1010 combination just provided. Heart rate's dropping down now. That's the alarms at 49 as the range goes down. Oxygen stats are okay at 98. Yeah. Hey, I've given you some clonazepam. That's going to relax your muscles. I've given you some CBD. I know you have pain both sides, lateral, left, right. Coming up from the temporalis up into the frontalis. And heart rate's dropping down. Synco. Passed out, 656. Heart rate dropping, 47. 48. This is the first level alarm. It's only below the 40, but I'm going to get significantly concerned. We have two sets of alarm levels for heart rate. This is just to tell me that we're in that space and whether I need to look at other cardiac symptoms, also the application of nitrolingual spray if required. Heart rate's just staying consistent at 47. Oxygen stats are good at 98%. Current time 6:56 p.m. It is Saturday 31st of May. Alright, heart rate's just come back up to 50-51. We're getting pursing. Eyebrow movements, which is all the blathericcism. Sorry for the banging. Camera skills don't exactly work all the best during these. We do the videoing for clinical purposes, specifically for the clinical team, done as a patient with 22Q, has literally over 22 different specialists. Dystonia is part of the condition for Dyan. It is a movement disorder, just as much as the Tourette's falls into that same sort of category. We have neurological actions going through all of this. So patients with 22q, about 65% of them will have seizures and seizure-like conditions. About 5.6% of them will have epilepsy. Dystonia affects the basal ganglia, and Dyan has got basal ganglia calcification bilaterally, and that is a condition with a movement order known as Farr's disease. The cycling of the legs, which she typically gets in this, is generalized dystonia. It's a chorea. Chorea is a Greek word meaning to dance, and that's where the legs become a rhythmical movement. We're getting arm flexations bilaterally. That's a sweet thing. There's no intervention necessary, it's just watch and observe, keeping her safe, making sure she doesn't hurt herself, throwing arms and around, banging against things. There's a lot of fierce tension in this flexation that occurs with the dystonia. It's just a muscle contraction. It can be a muscle fibrillation where you have the shaking activity, or it can be a very intense contraction and hold. When it's in the face and affecting multiple parts, multiply segmented in the cranial, you get a segmented cranial dystonia, and that's affecting where the eyes, eyebrows, eyelids, mouth and lips and tongue, and even the teeth. Hey, yeah. You're cold. That's okay. I want you to be because you've been running a fever.
No.
Yes, sweet pea. Now, Dyan has had her night medications at 5:15 p.m. That's the normal basis of time for that. You didn't take it all that late. You actually took it pretty close to time, actually.
Okay.
So you were actually spot on, so I'm not concerned about that at all. She's had a normal dosage of sodium valproate. However, I'd say that the efficacy levels of the sodium valproate is actually not there, particularly post the procedure preparation phase. Doing a complete washout for gastroparesis, part of the gastroenterology team for scoping, side-scope, and also colonoscopy. She's totally flashed out, so she's still having bowel-related issues because of the GI tract. That means we're not getting a very good therapeutic level with the medication at the moment. The pain indications post-seizure are quite common. They will subdue in a few minutes, and some of the medication I've already provided will actually help. We'll do an assessment once that few minutes is up to see whether I need to apply other additional medications. I just want to see that the seizing, the tics, and the dystonia starts to settle without the need to apply additional ASMs, anti-seizure medications. We do have midazolam, if I need to apply that, or Valium, or other sort of things as well as part of the kit. No. How's your nausea going? Gone? Cool. Do you have any chest pain? So no chest pain. Have you hurt anything anywhere, sweetie? Your jaw was very sore on the left side, in part, in the ear. Okay, so your head's still hurting. Okay. I'm gonna wait a little bit on time.
No.
I'm gonna wait a little bit on time.
No.
You're so cute. You're so cute. Dyan is so cute. Dyan being autistic, also having these cognitive challenges during these things is. Thank you. I'll take that one. I'll take Zara. You sure you want to give Zara up? Winnie's over there. Winnie the Dash Hound. Dyan doesn't like and can be a little bit resistant for certain types of medications, but unfortunately.
This is your Google nurse. Dyan takes CBD.
The look. I've already given you CBD. You're okay. So you're lucky. I've only given it a few minutes before. So, you must be absolutely shattered and exhausted, and you're certainly not feeling very comfortable.
I want to be normal. I want to be normal. I don't want to be sick.
Oh no, you don't want to be sick. The left eye is totally closed at this stage. Right eye is almost fully closed. This is the impact of the blepharism onto the face. Of course you don't, sweet pea, but you don't have a choice, okay? This is a genetic condition. I know, that's what we need to get, and unfortunately that's what we're working on as we work with the WA Health Department, the WA Health Minister, the hospitals, to try and actually get some sort of care and support. And that's the problem with rare conditions. There's over 7,000 rare conditions. 2 million Australians are affected by rare diseases. Unfortunately, that represents about 8% of the Australian population. And unfortunately, with that, only about 5% of those with rare conditions actually have suitable treatment that actually can manage or is curing their diseases. About 50% of them won't actually even get diagnoses. And we're hoping that with the advancements in science, that in the next 10 to 20 years, that'll improve to about 75% will actually get some sort of diagnosis. It takes long delays, sometimes up to 8 to 10 years to get diagnosis. Diane took 48 years to get a diagnosis for her condition, even though she had every separate individual sub-condition underneath the umbrella of 22q, 11.2 deletion syndrome. Tourette's post a seizure is quite common. So some of these tic actions aren't actual seizures, but they're actually part of the Tourette's side of things, motor tics. The dystonia is still active in Dyan. I can still see the blepharism and the oromandibular activity, and that's why I'm hoping the muscle relaxant is going to kick in very, very shortly. It's very, very painful, and those contractions are incredibly strong for Dyan. They can be very painful indeed. Just making sure that there's nothing in the feet. So I'm just checking the feet out as well, just to make sure that there's no tension, that there's been no dislocation or subluxation of the joints. It's quite common to actually dislocate things like the knee joints, the patella, even the hips throughout this. Yawn 704. I count the yawns, we look for the yawns, we want the yawns. Yawns are good indicators of relaxation and quite commonly termination of tonic-clonic seizures at the very least. There's movement of the feet, which I'm very happy with as well. About 5%, 10% of Dyan's tonic-clonic seizures can also end in a Todd's paresis or a paralysis of particularly the lower limbs, normally bilaterally. Sometimes that can also affect the upper limbs as well. That can last a short time, from 30 minutes anywhere up to 16 hours. What do you want, sweet baby?
I don't know.
That's okay. It's okay. You're still in the grips of it. Your head's still hurting. I can give you a gabapentin for the pain. No. I can give you a Panadol Osteo for the pain.
No, I had one.
You had one earlier today to bring your temperature down. I know, but you can have a lot more. Dyan's very small in size, and that's part of that failure to thrive which occurs with 22q. With that also means that she also, unfortunately, doesn't react all that well to medications, tolerance levels, and she has a lot of allergies. So there's a lot of medications that I can't give Dyan in this situation, unfortunately. That's heart rate dropping down again. Oxygen stats are remaining good at 97, 98%, so I haven't needed to apply supplemental oxygen. But the heart is playing around. I'm just going to bring the back of the bed up by about 10 degrees. Hopefully that'll increase blood pressure and hopefully make the heart rate work a bit better, considering it's dropping down to 47. We use pulse oximetry to measure movement, heart rates, oxygen stats, and so that we have the data to see what's happening as it goes throughout. And we record all of that, transfer that to the computer into reports, again, for the clinical team.
I'm okay.
You're okay. You always say that.
Okay.
Show me 2 more yawns in the next 5 minutes and I might agree with you.
I'm okay.
That's good.
I'm good.
What's your name?
Stupid name.
Okay, what is it?
A name that parents that don't own me anymore.
Okay.
Name me.
No worries.
I don't like them anymore.
That's fine. What day of the week is it done? Do you remember what day it is?
I don't care what day of the week
I do.
it is because
Sweetie?
I'm sad because it's my son's birthday.
I know it is, and I need you to also tell me where things are at. So you understand that it's your son's birthday, our son's birthday, and of course it's going to make you feel sad because they're not part of your life because of not understanding and recognising your condition. So I'm sorry for that. How are you feeling? Sad. Okay.
He says he loves me, why is he not letting me share his day?
Yeah, no, I get it. Has the nausea disappeared?
Yes.
Good. How's your head pain? Because I need to give you medication if it doesn't go away.
My neck hurts.
Your neck hurts. I can put a soft collar on if you like. Can you just lie down while you're going to get that? Because I can't trust you that you won't fall out of bed while I do that. Thank you.
Sorry, Max.
Okay. We're going to get you to sit back up again. Let's see again. There is heart rate again.
Ow. It's too tight.
So, okay, come back down. There we go.
Okay.
Dyan does have CCI, creating cervical instability of the neck. So the neck collar, even though it's a soft collar, will provide some protection support, help to give some natural traction, particularly because of the cranial dystonia, the axial tilt dystonia that she had during that. She's going to feel a lot of neck soreness and pain, unfortunately, on those areas. Your oxygen stats have remained very solid throughout this event. I'm very, very happy. Previous seizures recently, only less than a week ago, Dyan's oxygen stats have dropped down to about 72% for quite a significant period of time. Your heart rate, however, doesn't want to play very nice with us at the moment. It's currently at 47. Sweetie, stay with me. Dyan can pass out a lot with syncope during these phases as well, especially in between the seizures. Still getting segmented cranial dystonia with both blepharism and mainly oromandibular activity, lip smacking, pursing. Heart rate's just coming back up again. Sweetie, I'm here. Gotcha. Just making sure there's no dystonia in any of the extremities. Sometimes there can be dystonia that happens across the other parts of the body, such as the abdomen, affecting diaphragm, intercostal muscles, which can also affect breathing or heart. Heart rate's still at 47. Oxygen stats are at 97%. So we're flapping it a little bit up and down. It's currently 7:10 p.m. It is Saturday, 31st of May. Yeah, I know, it's our baby boy's 31st birthday today.
Super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he does. Heart rate has rebalanced back up, 52, 53. You sure you don't have any chest pains at all, sweetie? And how's the head pain? Is that starting to settle down a bit? Starting to settle down.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit slow on the releasing of the head pain, isn't it, for you this time? Okay.
I have pain a lot today.
You've had lots of pain today, have you? Why is that?
I don't know. I've had tummy pain and not a headache, skull pain.
Skull pain. So how can you define the difference of that? So headache is when you feel like a headache.
My brain's swollen.
So it feels like your brain is swollen.
Inside my ears.
Inside your ears. Okay. Okay. So that's a good descriptor. It actually explains what you're feeling, what the symptoms are for you. Is it on both sides of your head or just your left ear particularly? Okay. I know you've had a lot of tummy pain and nausea.
A lot of tummy pain.
Okay, and have you been finding that the ondansetron is helping you? It's a wafer that we use for you to melt in your mouth, sublingual.
I've needed a higher dose.
So you've used more higher dose to try and get it balanced out.
No, 4/8.
Okay.
80 milligrams.
Okay. We've got Max over here trying to keep an eye on what's going on or playing. He's also keeping an eye on his brother whilst this is all happening as well. They've been both.
Okay, Max.
They've both been floating around, keeping an eye on Mum during this exercise as well.
Mummy's okay.
I think he's got the zoomies at the moment, so as long as he doesn't launch the way he's wiggling his butt, don't launch at the hand. Have you had any other symptoms today? I mean, the fact you've obviously had dystonia in your hand, and that took a little bit of time. Stuttering. I forgot about that. So you have got a bit of aphasia, which is the stuttering, word finding, slurring, affecting speech, basically. Yeah.
And I've been irritable. Because that's
Okay.
like...
She has been a little bit irritable.
Yeah, and it's not my natural personality.
No, and we
I'm
understand that
really
difference with
chirpy.
neurology. Yeah, you actually are. So we've actually had a restive day. So Diane has actually been in bed the entire day. She hasn't got up. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't had a shower even, because even a shower takes a huge amount of energy. And particularly with the orthostatic intolerance, it can actually affect her heart rate and blood pressure very dramatically. So she has literally just been resting in bed, part of the recovery. Yesterday, she unfortunately had NDIS meetings. They took about 2.5 hours, and that takes its toll. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately in the moment, even though she was flagging, obviously, through it. But afterwards, in the next 24 hours, this is the PEM, the post-exertional malaise phase, where what we try to do is avoid things like that. The ideal scenario is not to have meetings that go on for 2.5 hours involving the participant. Really, the scope of things, and thank you for that.
Sorry, it was sticking to my skin.
That's okay. So normally the scope of tolerance really should be no more than 30 minutes of participation in an active meeting. Now, even though you might feel like you want to, and you want to be part of it, and that's a really real thing to want to be part of, so it has its impact. And unfortunately, the convenience is not there to say, well, let's actually reschedule and let's do lots of little chunks and separate meetings. It doesn't work that way. So
no, but that's how it should be for other
it should
people. It's all based for other people, to be honest, not for the participant.
Not for the participant. It best aids the participant. Oxygen stats are at 98, heart rate's at 55, 56, 58 in clonic, because you're now sitting upright. That's good.
But that's because I'm a complex NDIS patient, which means they haven't really got a system for us, because we can't be in aged care.
They don't have a box for your particular condition, do
I'm
they?
too sick for the normal NDIS box.
Exactly.
I'm not just autistic.
No, you're actually not. Even though, look.
Even though autism alone, I'm not saying if you're autistic that's easy.
No, it's not. And we both know that both being autistic. We get that.
We're both autistic. We know it's not easy. But I'm just saying.
Look, patients with 22q, 20 to 30% of them will be autistic. 40 to up to 60% of them will have ADHD as well. It's interesting to see. And look, Tourette's also fits into that mould. OCD fits into that mould. There's a lot of conditions as part of having.
As a kid with an abusive mother.
No, your heart rate is still dropping down. I wish it wouldn't. So we're keeping an eye on those levels of flapping as we go along. You sure not getting any chest pain at all?
My chest feels weird, but it's not.
Okay, can you describe weird for me? Diane with autism has interoception, so trying to understand if she's feeling pain, where she's feeling pain, and what the cause of the pain is very, very difficult. So sometimes I'll play Where's Wally and work out what's going on.
I actually feel like my heart and my stomach are connected at the moment. I'm feeling yucky.
So you're feeling that your heart and your stomach are connected together in feeling yucky. Now, if you've got dystonia, which you've had today, okay, you've had today multiple times, it's quite possible that you've got dystonia working in the abdominal muscles, also in the back and the abdominals going up. So it could be working into those cavities. Absolutely. It could be affecting you as well.
What's it going to do to my heart?
Well, it can cause irregular contractions. It can cause atrial fibrillation. It can do a lot of things.
Because last night I had the flutters.
So you were feeling the flutters last night.
To tell you.
She forgot to tell me.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to apologise. Okay. It's actually very difficult. Like I said, Diane's autistic. So with the interoception, she doesn't know in the moment. Communication is a difficult part of things. And then remembering cognitively to explain, oh, this might be important. I better tell Matt.
The last time it happened, I had the heart bug, and it was an AFib.
That was AFibs. Okay, so you're feeling. Now, again, we're not surprised because coming out of hospital.
Look at that. Look at the red.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've
shown them. I've shown them already.
That's not okay.
No.
Screw you, health department.
Yeah.
Screw you.
It's actually not okay, and we actually desperately do need assistance of appropriately trained and qualified specialists, or those who could actually reach out to specialists who understand 22q. Compartmentalized healthcare doesn't work with complex rare patients. They, according to rareDisease.org, also need to be able to work collaboratively together where we find experts who can actually communicate. Now, your heart rate, because you're sitting up, is actually spiking and is flapping around. We don't like seeing the lower dosages. There are some medications that we could get to actually improve the heart rate and bring your blood pressure up.
So it doesn't work.
That is a difficult one with the orthostatic intolerance. Absolutely.
It goes up if I stand up really high.
Yep.
Too high, and if I lie down flat,
it goes too low. We want to be in the Goldilocks level, just right, somewhere in the middle. Thank you very much.
Well, actually, I need a contrast MRI, like my doctor
You
said.
actually do a contrast cardiac MRI. It's very specifically to see what might be going on. It's quite common to have septal defects occurring. And look, even the cardiologist admitted, look, quite possibly that you might have this. Why won't they do the test? Why don't they support? Absolutely. Well, these are the things that we need to look at, along with also maybe you need some sort of atrial pacemaker to work on what's keeping it consistently. That's another story anyway. So her heart rate is still flapping down again, low, so we might hear some more alarms. We'll try to keep an eye on that. No.
So am I stuck with this?
You're going to be stuck with that for a while, and probably tonight we might need to put the seizure detection device. We've got a wearable seizure detection device. That will give me heart rate. It will actually give me a loud alert to the base station if she stops breathing, and obviously if the heart stops moving, which means I can keep an eye on her. Even though I sleep right next to her, I can sleep a little bit soundly at times. But unfortunately, particularly with seizures, I do not snore. Take that back, you snore. Unfortunately, with SUDEP, sudden unexplained death from epilepsy, that occurs mainly between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning. That's the twilight period where most people are asleep, don't have supports and people watching them. We do have a seizure movement detection camera called the SAMU-3.
Bit late when you're dead.
Bit late when you're dead. We can use the heart rate monitors, but this is why we need to be observant and have 24/7 staff around us. And that's at the moment me 24/7, isn't it?
No, but we are doing change of circumstance.
We are working on that, aren't we?
And we will get things, but it's government department. They don't rush for you. And some people have had their change of circumstances delivered and they're already dead. So
yeah, a little bit too late, too little too late.
This is Australia.
Yeah, it is indeed. I'm so glad to see that you're upright. I'm so glad to see that the nausea seems to have settled. Has the headache and the head pain settled?
It's settling like a little bit.
Perfect. And it will keep going down. I don't want to give you too much medication too soon. Absolutely, because that can then make you feel even more nausea. And then we start. It's a bit of a catch-22. You try and fix one area and it can affect 2 or 3 other areas.
Stop saying the 22 thing because I just wish I didn't have 22
I know. Of course you don't. I get that.
I'm so sick of living like this and suffering in the first world country.
Yeah, I understand that. So that's what we're working on with the Health Department, Health Minister, the hospitals, advocates, the Australian Human Rights Commission, and a range of others, just to try and get accessible health care for Dyan with multiple rare conditions. And that's
falling apart.
Not good enough for a lot of Australians. Like I said, there is 7,000 different rare diseases. It's affecting about 8% of the Australian population. That equates to, what did I say, about 2 million. 2 million Australians are affected with rare diseases, sometimes multiple rare diseases. And there's very few that actually have support and treatment.
5 rare.
And the list goes on.
Because I've got the 1 rare is the reason the other 4 rares.
Truth be known, it actually is. Your heart rate has gone back up again. I'm very much happy at that. You're cognizantly aware, which is not. I love it when she says she's fine.
I'm fine.
Tell them one more time. Go on.
I'm fine.
I'm going to get the t-shirt. I'm fine, because you are fine.
I've got someone else's t-shirt right now.
You do indeed. We should get our own t-shirt brand, shouldn't
But
I?
we should have our t-shirt
Wait,
range.
what's yours going to say? You're stupid.
I should say that.
Yeah, probably.
And then yours can say the same thing.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
No, we would have something about autism.
Yep. Awareness,
Nice
acceptance,
things.
be kind, all those nice things that people should actually do.
And yeah, guys, like, I know you're on my channel, you're already disabled probably in some way.
Yep.
But like, I know it's 2025, but we have a long way to go with disability.
We certainly do.
if you work in disability, please be really, really kind, because we're not having the same experience of life as you. And I'm someone that can say that because I have a degenerative genetic syndrome, which means
life-shortening, life-threatening.
I actually have lived what has felt like a normal life, even though it wasn't completely. I know the difference. And I remember being independent and free, and we weren't on the system of any kind at all. We were totally self-sufficient. It's really, really hard.
We miss those days, don't we?
Really hard to be dependent on a system that you don't choose to be.
Yeah, we were self-funded looking after Dyan's disability for over 25 years. I stopped work about, 7 or 8 years ago to be her full-time carer.
You lose so much freedom and independence. And control over your own life.
For those who are new to the channel, Dyan is 51 years of age. I am 55. We are a married couple of 34 plus years. Dyan looks very young because she has a condition, part of the Ehlers-Danlos. So there's a connective tissue disorder with collagen that actually makes your skin very smooth, sateen, stretchy, and of course, along with 22q, where you're smaller in stature, failure to thrive, it makes you look younger.
We're actually concerned our younger son has it too, because he has a lot of the symptoms. It's genetic as well.
It is, and it can obviously be passed down that way. Or it can be de novo, just from random, from scratch.
My 22q, I don't know where it comes from, guys. In my family, I mean, there's a lot of deceased relatives, so
and there's
it's
a lot of
hard to
genetic
know.
issues across your family.
My brother and my children do not have it.
Yeah, so that's a good part about that side of things. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around, being here to support Dyan through her journey. As she educates and advocates to create awareness about the condition.
Like, what I appreciate is that you guys don't leave in the bad times.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, so big thank you from both of us for hanging around, for support that comes both ways. Yes. We actually appreciate. We know that we hopefully offer some light, inspiration and aspiration to others out there dealing with complex, acute or chronic conditions, or rare diseases.
If you're just lonely and disabled and the world thinks that you're not worthy, you
Everybody
are
is worthy. Yeah. Can you tell your heart to snap out of it? Heart rate's just dropping down to 47. Come on, you.
Just because you are disabled, it does not mean that you are not worthy. Please don't forget that. And if your family don't understand disability and how to support you, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just is a shit show.
Exactly.
But
there's a lot of ignorance out there.
If you have a disability, I want you to feel worthy. And if you have a family member with a disability that you're scared of and you're struggling to know how to support, just get educated online.
Just spend a little bit of time learning a bit more about the condition.
So many things online that can educate you on how to support someone with autism, someone with 22q, someone with rheumatoid arthritis, someone
you name it.
Whatever a person has in your life, if you love them, then please remember that we have become an extremely materialistic world.
Yeah. And a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
The humanness.
Definitely.
Please don't forget. So
humans first.
That I've come from humanitarian studies. I'm telling you, hashtag save the humans.
Save the humans, indeed. Guys, let's add that hashtag save the humans. And any of your comments, questions, ideas and suggestions, please leave them below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from around the world. We have so many people from every country around the world. So many people with 22q, people with other types of genetic conditions or rare conditions, autistics, ADHDs, OCDs, Tourette's, you name it. We have got so many on the channel. You're all beautiful. So
even
thank
if you don't have anything
connecting.
I have, but you're just disabled.
Exactly. And we'll see you in another episode. Hopefully we're done feeling a little bit better soon. Bye for now.
Absolutely.